Hi friends, and welcome to day 5 of my Nutcracker wrap series. So I think this is going to be the last one, at least for now, unless I get any other inspirational brainwaves. So today is actually the wrap that inspired me to do the entire series because I had the idea for it, but I have saved it for last because it is a little bit of a deep cut. I was inspired by the Mother Ginger music for this wrap. It's going to be basically a gingerbread inspired wrap. And I know a lot of versions of the Nutcrackers omit it entirely. And to be honest, it's not even one of my favorite dance pieces in the Nutcracker, but I love the music so much. And so that is what I'm going to be using. So I am going to go ahead and get started. I've got my Cloud9 shaper in black, and I am going to start with a white Sparkle-licious. When I did a test run of this earlier, I used a Shiny-licious. I haven't actually tried it with the Sparkle-licious yet, but I think it should be fine. We're gonna see. So this is going to go on my head a little bit off center, and I'm gonna want my longer tail to come out on this side. And that is because my first tail I'm really not going to do a bunch with. I'm going to bring it up and over to get it essentially just out of the way. And then I really want to have maximum length on my second tail. So just tying it in a knot at the back of my head to secure it. And then, as I said, I am going to take my tail here, fold it into thirds, and bring it up and over and try and keep it relatively flat. I just don't want it to be looking bulky underneath. And then I am just going to tuck that right here at the back of my neck. As I said, doesn't have to be super tidy. We're going to cover all of that up. I just need it to stay in place while I put on my second scarf. So this is a faux suede wrap from the Little Tickle Lady. Yes, I do own scarves that are not Rapunzel scarves. And like the faux suedes from the Little Tickle Lady are some of my favorites. They have the most gorgeous texture, especially for the cooler months. They're so comfy to wear. And yeah, I love them. And so this color came out recently. This is a new one. It's in the color Sedona, and so it has this beautiful burnt orange, very gingerbready sort of color to it. So I'm going to put this on my head, and I want my tail on this side to be about the same length as my long tail on the other side. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this straight across, and because what I want is for the white to have just a very thin border on it, because the idea is that I want it to look like the white frosting on the end of a gingerbread house. Okay, so that is about the same length. That's perfect. And so I'm going to bring it underneath my scarf end here and tie it in a knot. And then once I've done that is when I'm going to worry about my fringes and everything else. So I definitely have some fringes poking out. We are going to tuck those up and under. Make sure that this is nice and snug, that I don't have anything bubbling out. There, that goes. And then go around my edges here and make sure that this is a nice, thin, even band of white as far around as possible. All right, good, that's what I want. And then similar to my white scarf underneath, I'm just gonna fold in my edges and bring this guy up and around. Try and make it relatively flat and just sort of take him out of the picture. I'm gonna bring him underneath there, and I have the tiniest little tail right there. So that is good. That is what I want. It actually might be a little bit shorter than what I had hoped, but we are going to forge on ahead and do our best. So now I am going to take my white scarf, fold in the edges, and then bring this up and over, and I want it to be relatively wide so that once I bring my neck scarf across, I can have that border of white on either side of it. So again, I'm not really pleating it. I just want it to be fairly smooth. It is obviously going to be a little bit folded up on itself because it's wider than my head is, but just nothing too lumpy that is going to show underneath. And then I'm going to let him be, and now do the same thing. Bring this up and over the top. And so this is where I strongly recommend, if you're doing this wrap, to do it somewhere you have access to a mirror. I do not. And actually, so when I did this the first time, I sort of used my little tail over here to secure it, and I'm going to do that now, just to make sure that it is staying so that it's not moving around too much, because what's really going to give that gingerbread look is having everything be nice and even. And so I'm not going to be able to see all of my angles while I am doing this tutorial. Once I hop off, I am going to go find a mirror so that I can fix it and make sure that, especially in the back, I have it going over nice and even. So right now I am just going to feel as best I can to make sure that I have that border of white that's showing in the back, and hopefully showing pretty evenly. Okay, so now I'm going to undo where I had my wrap down here, and I am going to tie this in a knot. And instead of doing it beginner's luck style, I am going to instead bring this underneath so that I can, as I'm tying, bring these tails through here like that and create a little bit of a poof. And so ideally, what I'm going to end up with here, this might take me a couple of tries. It is also very slightly bulkier than doing this with the Shinylicious. So that in front. It feels so strange tying it in a different way than I usually tie my scarves. There we go. Take both of those ends and bring them through. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to fluff these out. And once again, what I want to do is have this gingerbready suede color on the outside and the white on the inside. So I'm going to tug this down on the inside, and then I'm going to reach through the top here and try and find my white so that I can pull it out just like that. So once again, I have this, I'm evoking the gingerbread with the white frosting on the edges. And that is the wrap portion itself. Now, obviously, what gingerbread house would be complete without some degree of candy decoration? And so this was the idea that I had that made me absolutely positive that I wanted to do this wrap in the first place. You've seen me wear them in a ton of videos. I'm wearing them now. I have these adorable, can I get the camera to focus? I have these absolutely adorable little stud earrings in hamsas in these bright jewel tones. And so I am going to use these to create little gumdrop studs across the gingerbread portion of my wrap. And so I am going to start with the one that I want to be in the middle, and I'm going to try and find the middle of my suede wrap here. And you know what? Actually, I think I'm going to do this over on the other side. I think I am, because then I can have a little bit of interest on both sides. So I'm going to use my hand underneath, and then I'm going to place my little gumdrop hamsa stud right through here. And for right now, just because I'm doing this as a tutorial, I would definitely go back and like make sure that you put the earring backs on as well so that they don't fall off in the middle of the day. But for now, I am just gonna go ahead and stick them right in. And then where do I want my second? That looks like pretty good spacing to me. So just right through like that. And then I have my blue right here. So I got these from Ruby Soul, formerly known as Lila Tov Creations. And I'll put the link to their website below. I don't know if they have anything like this right now, but you could use any brightly colored studs that you have. I have similarly some brightly colored acrylic laser cut mini Magens from Ariel Tirhar, and I love those as well. So that is it. This is my gingerbread look, and here it is from the front, from the side, from the back, and the other side. So I hope that it looks pretty good around the back. As I said, I don't really have a mirror to check right now, but I'll take some photos later once I've straightened everything out. And so that does it for my Nutcracker series. I am probably going to take off until the new year. So I hope that everyone has a wonderful holiday season and a happy new year. That is a wrap for me. Thank you so much for watching.